Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. I'm here to be talking about Survivor Season 41. Now, Survivor Season 41 is the newest season of the long-running reality show, which, to bring you guys up to speed, if you don't know what Survivor is, basically it's where you take a bunch of contestants from all walks of life and put them on an island together in tribes and eventually individual portion of the game. And you have to outplay, outlast, and the last one standing would win not only the title of being the sole survivor, the last one standing, but also the $1 million that goes along with it. And it's a really successful show. It's been around since 2000, so it's been around for quite a while. And this is the longest I think they've gone between filming the season, because the last time they filmed the season was before the shutdowns. But you know, with all the hoopla of all that stuff, we finally got a new season, and let me break it down. Now, before I really dive into it, just know that it's going to be, spoilers in here, and I think that's pretty fair because it was released weekly, so the earlier episodes in particular, you guys, if you were interested in watching the show, you should have seen it by now, and the newest episode released almost a week ago. So, with all that said, time to dive into it now. This season does, because usually how the seasons do is there's either 2 or 3 tribes at the start. This one has tribes of 3, I believe 6 on each tribe. And the main thing about the season, which was a huge talking point for a lot of people, being fans, critics, etc., was there was too many advantages in this season. Now, I'm going to dive into that because a lot of them, I do agree with people, are really bad. But there are some that people don't like that I think are kind of cool. And this season it definitely felt different from the other seasons because, like, the recent, past 1 or 2 seasons, they were doing this thing where they didn't have a previously on Survivor, the iconic thing where they go over what happens. They don't have that, so they expect you to just know. They don't even show you anything for the last episode, which, if you're watching it weekly, like a while apart, me personally, I know a lot of people didn't like it, so good for them, but for me personally, I wish they had that, because it makes it easier to remember what I watched a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whenever I get a chance to watch the newest episode. So I wish they had that. Same with, there's just some stuff that they changed, like the ending, how it says, it doesn't really say next time on, or, it just kind of shows little clips here and there. And I don't know, some stuff like that was different. I guess they did it to save runtime. I don't know. But the main thing that I really am disappointed with is how, in recent years, they just gave up on really doing intros, where it plays the, iconic Survivor music and shows all the cast and stuff. I love that stuff, and you showed the scenery and all. I wish we had the Survivor intro, especially for a cast like this, because I really thought the cast this season was pretty solid. So it's really disappointing that they didn't make an intro. There's lots of fan intros on YouTube and stuff that people made because they love the intro so much, which I do appreciate. And even some of the cast on Twitter and all was, liking it as well. So it's just really unfortunate that we don't have an official intro. But enough of that. Let's dive into the main nitty-gritty of this season now. This season really dives into which is gonna be kind of, I'm not really a fan of politics and stuff, to be fair with you. And this season really dives into it on, it's just really hard to talk about. So when we get to the merge section, basically this is when all the stuff really gets real. Because in the pre-merge, it's the typical, the one tribe, I think it's Yasa, I believe that's their name. They basically form an all-women's alliance and start picking off the men. And it becomes a woman's thing for them. So it's okay. And Luvu, the blue tribe, didn't really lose any challenges because they're a bunch of epic titans on a team. All of them are really good on the team. So they didn't really have to worry about tribal council for the first 6 or 7 episodes. It's crazy. And Ua, I thought Yasa was the worst tribe because they were voting out all your strong men. But Ua, they were only down to 2 people come merge. So maybe that tribe was the worst. But those 2 people that came from it, Shan and Ricard, they are really great players. Now, Shan, I really respect her gameplay, and I really like her as a person. See, a lot of people are criticizing this season of Survivor, calling it woke and stuff like that because of mainly her and what she does. So she makes, at the merge, she makes a black alliance where she gets all the black people and together, and she wants like a black person to win this season, for more representation and give hope for other black Americans and stuff that watch the show. And a lot of people are criticizing that and trashing it. I mean, I just personally, like, each season when you have a different cast and stuff, it's different. It's not the show's fault if you don't like what they're doing, because the show doesn't like force this stuff onto them. The cast people, the crew, like the contestants and everyone, they're the ones that bring about what they want happen, and if they have the numbers, they allow it to happen. I personally think it was kind of like cringy at first, I'm not gonna lie, but when I thought about it, I realized, like, we're in season 41, there's only been 3 or 4 winners that were black. So honestly, it's not really that big of a deal, because why not? I mean, if people that are fans of the show, of that demographic, want to see, like, themselves portrayed in a great way, because I really don't see the issue in nitpicking and complaining about it. Same with the women's thing. Like, there has been more women winners, to be fair, but in recent memory, we haven't really had one until this season. Like, the last winner that was a girl was season 34, so it was a long stretch of not girl winners. So honestly, like, them doing that stuff to try to, like, fit, like, what they want, that's fine. I mean, it is part of their game. Like, they stayed around for as long as they could with that strategy. They had, like, the Black Alliance in particular. I don't want to call it that, but I think that's what they called it. Sorry. They basically ran the early part of the merge, like, just dominating until they fractured, because mainly Deshaun and Shan just really couldn't get along, and it was quite something. And it's really telling that Deshaun really burned a lot of bridges, because he did make it to the end, and all the people on the jury, the rest of the Black Alliance, I think only Danny, because they were good buddies since the beginning, I think he only voted for him, everyone else didn't, which really is telling that he really messed it up, because he could have had a shot at winning just on being, part of that alliance and trying to help with the culture and stuff for that community. So it's really telling, like, the social politics of this game is so crucial, not just winning immunities or making it to the end. You have to do everything right, and you have to get there with the right jury. It's such a complex and really entertaining game to watch. That's why I love it so much. And there was lots of great characters, in my opinion, that came from it. One that I was really shocked by was Ricard, because at first, like, I thought it was the Shan show, because I thought Shan, just from the first episode and the first pre-merge stuff, I thought she would be either the one that won or the one that ran that, the show. And when I saw Ricard blindside her, I was like, okay, because he was a good challenge beast. I think he won 3 or 4 immunities. He had a great social game. He was part of the reason, along with Erica and other people on the bottom, that flipped the script, and for them to get in the lead at the later part of the merge. I just thought that stuff, he was so good. He was one of my favorites for sure, along with Shan. Shan was really solid as well. My personal favorite was Xander, because this dude had one of the best underdog stories, in my opinion, in the season. Not up there with someone like Mike. Mike's like my all-time favorite in terms of underdog stories, but this guy went from being on the bottom on his tribe, because they all formed the all-women's alliance and the 2 other guys got voted out. So he was by himself, basically, with no vote, because of that stupid idol twist, which is one of the twists that I complained about. How each beach had a idol, but you had to say a specific phrase at the challenge. All 3 of them did, to all 3 idols activate. So basically that just ruins the idol thing, because everyone knows about the idols right then and there. And if you did it and no one else did it, you lost your vote. So he was without a vote. So he was really lucky that they won immunities until the merge, when it was just the 4 of them. And it's funny, is a lot of people are like salty and stuff on Twitter and everything about, why didn't he save his 2 allies, like Evie and Tiffany? Well, first off, when he found out that Evie was telling all this personal stuff about his idol and everything to Deshaun, he realized he couldn't trust her. So why keep someone like that in the game, even though they were all on the bottom? And second, they were doing a girls' alliance from what we've seen, so they would have voted him out if they had the chance regardless. So why should he? She even said in one of the episodes before she got out, she's like, he's going to play the aisle for me, which is great, but Why I wouldn't do that for him, but he's doing it for me. So it's like they didn't really care to save him. So why would he care to save them? You know? But he wasn't mean, and they weren't. None of them were mean to each other about it. It was pretty like common ground. Like, it's a game, we're playing for it. I don't see really the good need to work with you and stuff. So it was really, really chill, honestly. And I just like, the main thing I do feel bad about was Erica, because everyone's given her slack and stuff, because Xander had a great edit this season. He really did. I really hoped he would win, because I loved his underdog story, and he even won 2 immunities and everything. He just made it to the end. He seemed to be on the bottom the whole game, and I really appreciate that. But I think Erica was really underutilized since she was the winner, and it's really unfortunate because she did play a really good game from what we've seen, but they didn't really show that much for us to really, be satisfied in a way. So it's like the editing department really lacked on that. And I don't think it's her fault, because by all accounts, she did play a good game. She was kind of under the radar. She was one of the reasons that the Alliance, they went to the top and flipped the Black Alliance to the bottom. And everyone been trying to get her out the whole thing from what we've seen pre-merge. They were going to throw a challenge to get her out. They were talking about voting her out at the merge a few times. So, I mean, her social cues and all, and she even won 2 immunities. So she's there in all aspects, which is great. I think she's a really good winner. I'm so happy for people, because, that really wanted to see her win, because, there was just a lot riding on her. I think all the people that made it to the end and stuff, even Deshaun, whose game was a little iffy for me, even I liked all of them as people. I really did. So I was fine if either of them won. Personally, I wanted Xander, but Erica was a great win as well. And another thing is that the advantages, I'll talk about that quickly because the videos, So, the main advantage that really pissed people off was the hourglass one. Now, what that was is an episode before the merge, like for the 7th vote off, which is usually before the jury and all that starts. They had split up into 2 groups, and they all go to live on one beach, but the winning group all become immune and are safe for the merge. And the tribe of all, the strong people won easily. But one person was sent to exile, being Erica, and Jeff gave her the option to either smash the hourglass, which resets time and gives the tribe that lost immunity, and she becomes immune, or keeps it the same. She chose to obviously smash it. Everyone would have, and so no fault there for her. But it was so dumb on the production's part, because those people won fair and square, and they're saying, oh, screw you, it doesn't matter about how good you are and stuff, you're forced to go regardless. And it sucks, because the person that got voted out, Sydney, she didn't deserve that, and it was ridiculous, because her team won fair and square. So it was just so frustrating, because it shouldn't have gone down like that. And I thought she was a really good contestant, and she was just over it. She was so annoyed. Pretty much everyone from Legacy didn't like it, especially Danny. Like, no, none of them liked it. It was ridiculous. And the other thing that everyone hates was the do or die thing. Literally, another thing based on luck, where you could choose to sit out of immunity, but if you're the first one to drop, you have to compete in this, where you have to choose one of 3 boxes. If you choose Flame, you're safe. If you choose Skull, you're immediately out with no vote or anything. And stuff like that is so frustrating, but how it was edited and the reactions and stuff was fantastic. So, I'll take it. I thought that was great. Don't bring it back, though, probably. A one-time thing was nice. Just some of the stuff that they have in here was this... It just really bogged down the season, because the cast was so good in a lot of ways, and all this stuff just kind of ruined it. And another thing is, I hate the 26-day thing. It just feels like discount, like short Survivor. I want the traditional 39-day experience. And I think they did too. They're probably saying, we're fine with it, because they're there. When all the people that basically, gave them this opportunity and all are like behind the camera. So, but I think just from now on, just go back to 39 days, please. But with all that said, as you can tell, I had a lot to say about this season, because I was so excited to be watching this weekly. And there was lots of episodes that I wasn't a fan of, especially pre-merge. Once we got into the merge and afterwards, I was really getting hooked. But with all that said, those are my thoughts on Season 41 of Survivor. So, what do you all think if you've seen this show, this season? Let me know down below in the comment section. And if you want to hit the bell as well, and get notified when I upload. That'll be great. And hit the subscribe button and comment down below. All right, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.